You found the STIHL National Championship Air Races presented by Reno-Tahoe.
My name is Juan Brown from the Blancolier channel, and I'm here to help announce the STOL drag races along with Josh. And let me give you a lay of the land here at Reno. So we have a 2,000-foot long course right between the runway and taxiway in the dirt. Down here to your left, where the aircraft are lining up, is the start-finish line. 2,000 feet down to your right is the turnaround point. So we're going to take 2 aircraft at a time, double elimination, drag racing. We're going to launch them from the start-finish line. Kevin Quinn's going to count down 3, 2, 1, see ya. You'll hear him on the radio, and they're going to go drag racing as fast as they can, side by side in a 75-foot wide lane each, to the turnaround point 2,000 feet down the runway. They have to land on or beyond the turnaround point, come to a complete stop with their tail down. There's 4 judges down there watching, then spin around and drag race back to the start-finish line. The first aircraft that stops wins the drag race. You get eliminated twice, you're out. And from this process, through 19 aircraft, we're going to determine the STIHL STOL Drag Racer for 2022. And here goes our first pair.
Joe Dory in lane 2 on the outside lane, and Tony Sanchez on lane 1.
So this is the beginning of our bracket racing to determine the bottom of the bronze racers. So Joe Dory is running a Piper Pacer with a 0320 Lycoming 150 horse engine. He touches down first. And Tony Sanchez is running the Just Aircraft Super STOL with the Rotax 912. They both get turned around at about the same time. Josh, did it look like the Super STOL landed a little shorter?
It looked like it might have, which could be expected, being that it's a little lighter. But these are both professional pilots in their normal daily lives, so I'm sure they've already planned this out.
Joe's already passed the STIHL home pylon, chopping the power. But the Super STOL is catching up quick. Who's going to get stopped first? Look at that. It's almost too close to call.
I'm going to call it Joe in lane 2.
Joe, follow Tony, clear to second. Super buddy, guys.
So it's double elimination. They'll bring them back until they finally determine who gets knocked out.
Curly does not have oil temp to race. Come on up, Curly. Just wait for oil temp. We'll wait for you. There's no hurry, gang. We'll slow things down.
Cool morning this morning. The Rotax 912 needs another minute or 2 to get his oil temperature warmed up into the green before he launches.
Slow and fast, gang. When we're ready, Curly, you'll be ready.
So we're racing for a $30,000 purse here in the STOL drag races, and it takes a lot of sponsors to do that. And some of those sponsors that help us out with the STIHL STOL drag race is AOPA, Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association. Cub Crafters out of Yakima, Washington. Get your STOL drag ready aircraft right from Cub Crafters. Airframes Alaska for all your bush plane needs and modifications. And those expensive big wheels. Tempest Aero Group for all your aircraft accessories, general maintenance items. Flight Outfitters, this neat small company that produces these great jackets that we're wearing in the STOL class, and a lot of other flight luggage type equipment, specifically for backcountry type flying. Wheeling Aerospace, which provides us these LED lights, which you see on our aircraft, which we use extensively in the backcountry to see and be seen. Clemens Insurance, Say hi to Jerry Clemens. He brokers a lot of insurance for us guys. McFarland Aviation. Talked to Brenda. She's here today at Reno. She's selling MT propellers. Sky Cowboy for the helmets that we use that's required in STOL drag racing, and we like to use in the backcountry as well. And Behringer wheels and brakes. You'll see a lot of Behringer wheels and brakes assemblies on these drag racing aircraft. Josh, who do we got up next?
We got Aaron Greer in lane 2 on the far lane, and Dave Curley on lane 1 on the inside. Dave Curley's out of Texas. Aaron is... Aaron's out of Washington in the 182. These are a greatly mismatched pair of planes, but they work together when they go like this because the 182's got so much power and the Just Aircraft Highlander has so much more braking.
And that's what we figured out on this 2,000-foot long course, is that it's a great equalizer between all these different aircraft types. You take a big heavy airplane like a 182 versus a super lightweight Just Aircraft Highlander, and you have a very competitive race. And look at that, they're getting stopped at about the same point.
I think from our perspective, they stopped at the same time.
Correct.
But the same point, I think the little guy, here he comes. The little lighter guy gets ahead real quick.
Quicker on the acceleration and quicker on the deceleration. And that's what we're testing, is the entire aircraft envelope in STOL drag racing. How fast can you accelerate and how quick can you decelerate and come to a stop? But you gotta hit your mark. Good bounce, Aaron. Good turn.
Aaron follows Curly. Great job, boys. Curly with a good job. Third attack. I'm off, Aaron.
Next up, we have Bruce Graham in lane 2 in his Carbon Cub. And on the inside lane, we have Andrew Patry in his Cessna 182. Kind of a rough-looking 182, but he has dumped a lot of money in it to try and beat all of his competitors, both in STOL, traditional STOL and STOL drag. So this thing's kind of souped up. It's got an MT reversible propeller. I don't think MT knows that he's using it for that, but it is really, really impressive when he can get it into gear. He's got to drop the RPMs down below 1,000 in order to get to work.
On drop, 3, 2, 1, see ya.
Carbon Cub versus the 182 with the reversible pitch prop. So watch this at the start or at the turnaround and see if
Pull off to the right a little bit.
Andrew can get that reversible pitch prop into reverse. It's a lot of muscle memory being learned to learn how to operate. He's got it.
You get around me there?
As that dust blows forward, you can see that that reversible prop is in fact working on that. He was going to try and use it on both routes today, both up and back. In the previous days, he's been trying to use it only on the finish.
Look at that, it took him a minute to get it out. Oh man, he lost that great time that he had hitting it in reverse. Cost him a second or two at the turnaround.
That
and
is
Bruce has
very
got a big
important.
lead.
Like that.
And Bruce Graham in number 7 outside lane 2. For those of you who don't know him, he's a Mount Everest climber.
Just go to the right.
Successfully.
Right now you can.
Ooh, I think Bruce got a scratch on that in lane 2.
Well, isn't that the luck?
Ooh, couple ammo.
Andrew Patry in the Cessna 182 is not afraid to drop that in. He'll break the gear off. He just spent a ton of money on a new titanium gear for that 182, and he wants to use every penny he put into it.
Taxi, Bruce, follow Andrew. Watch out for the blast.
Puts money in everything but paint in that vehicle.
Kathy G.
And here we have Kathy Page in lane 2 in her brand new Carbon Cub that she just finished building and flying Amazon. And on the inside lane, we have Brian Steck on lane 1 in his Legend Cub.
Speaking of Carbon Cubs, one of our sponsor, just inside the pit gate, they got 2 brand new Carbon Cubs on display. Pick one of them up and we'll have you racing by Sunday.
They've got the new nose wheel Cub. Is that the NX?
Oh yeah, that one's very popular, and it's a performer.
Okay, we got a course clear up and down. Judges are good. Are you ready, Rod? Are you ready, Kathy? On the arm drop. 3, 2, 1. See ya.
So Brian Steck on the inside lane in the Legend Cub is still learning to fly his plane without slats. When he bought the plane, he flew it for a very short time, put slats on it, and has been flying it for all of his time with these slats on. Took it off here and realized this is a completely different plane than he remembered. And so he's still figuring it out. And Kathy's also still figuring out her brand new plane that she just got, just finished building. So these are guys just still trying to work out the details of their aircraft, which is pretty obvious with Brian Steck yesterday when he slammed it in and used every inch of that suspension.
Brian's already in the turnaround.
Brian is looking really confident today.
It's great to see the progression of these guys as they get, and gals, as they get more practice out here on the course.
Seeing that deep slip like that just indicates that he is carrying some speed.
Okay, that was a real quick turn by Brian in the #1 lane in the blue Legend Cub, and the judges are calling a scratch for the turnaround. So I assume that means incomplete stop.
Very unfortunate, but fortunate for Kathy.
Yes.
All right, next in lane 2, pulling out in the far lane is John Hogla and his Zenith 701. And it's got some other names out there. I can't remember. It's not a Super STOL. I asked him last night. It's got some other name.
701?
701 STOL. I think it's just they call it STOL. 701 STOL. He broke a bungee gear. Missed 2 days of practice. He missed a day of qualifying. But he's back now. And we got Kevin Palmer in lane 1 and the Kid Fox.
Red
Rocket.
Rocket.
Evenly matched.
And he's your hometown favorite, based right here at Reno-Stead.
Watch him brakes lock up in ball.
Northwest Air Repair shipped him immediately. I don't know how they got it here so fast. When he broke his bungee gear in practice, they were able to get it here quickly and get him back up and running.
And on that aircraft, the bungee's on the nose wheel.
That is right. I didn't even know it had suspension until he broke his.
And then come on down and check all of these aircraft and check out the rest of the wild suspension on that Zenith. It's quite a contraption. And I want to remind everybody, the STOL corral is down here at the far right, just past the jets. It's open to everybody that's got a ticket here at the STIHL Reno National Championship Air Races. And we've got a venue down there where you can buy
purchase all kinds of different swag down there in those pits, and it's really good. You can come up and meet the pilots. It's just a fantastic arrangement they've got down there where you don't need the pit pass.
That's right. Come get your STOL swag down to the STOL Corral.
And Kevin Palmer is pulling John Hogla, but it's not over yet. John Hogla's got that nose wheel. Although it seems like it would be a great advantage having that nose wheel, when he hits the brakes really hard, the weight shifts off the main gear, which is where the brakes are at, shifts it to the nose wheel and unloads the gear, which means the brakes aren't all that effective. And as you can see, they landed nearly close to the same time, and Kevin Palmer still made the turnaround quicker. So this is going to be a real tight race here at the end.
And that's one of the advantages of being a tail wheel aircraft, is you can spin it around really quick. Good turns. Kevin Palmer in the lead with the Red Rocket. Let's see who gets him stopped first. Gotta land on or beyond the start-finish line. What's it look like up there, gang?
Clear to taxi. I gotta watch a video on that one. Clear to taxi. Clear to taxi. We watch a video on that one. That was a great race, boys.
Too close to call. Gotta go to video.
Outstanding, and that's, I guess, where that nose wheel's helping a little bit there. That is fantastic.
You know, when I see it in your future, I'm just thinking about all your innovation. Nose wheel brakes.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna do it, I'll guarantee you.
That's, yeah. Put a Fred Flintstone brake on there. That'll work.
So John Hogla and John Humbert Both two real popular Zenith guys. I think they're both probably working on that.
We got lots of time. I'm going to look at a video. Lots of time.
All right, looks like on the
Lots of time
outside,
being
Bruce
over here.
Graham in the Carbon Cup. And Aaron Greer coming up again in the Cessna 182.
Again, double elimination before you're out.
Now, Aaron just barely had enough hours last year to be a competitor in this sport. I think we require 250 hours, is that correct?
That's correct. Commercial, I think, but he had 300 hours last year, and he comes back this year, doubling it, 600 hours of flying time. Still one of our youngest pilots out here at the STOL drag race.
I would think that most of those hours that he acquired, it was flying back and forth to and from the events that he was going to compete in, because he accumulated so many hours flying to Florida, Texas, all the other states that he goes to do that. Just really dedicated there coming out of Washington.
What a great way to rack up time.
I'd like to see a video of my crash number 3 if you don't mind.
I watched the low altitude.
Yeah, when we get back to Pittsburgh, we'll share videos. We looked at 2 videos that was confirmed.
No, you're supposed to fly from one end to the other. You can't taxi all the way. Sometimes you wonder if these airplanes are even get off the ground, but no, there's no, well, if you touch down before the start-finish line, that's a scratch because,
Well, I'm thinking midpoint.
yeah, the judges can't see that far.
We're clear west.
I think that is that gray area. People have asked me that before. Like, I don't think it's actually been addressed because nobody's really done it. We have had some planes take that long to get off the ground, so that then we can't penalize them.
Skipping off at the taxiways sometimes.
And the nose wheel versus the tail wheel again. Get to see what those two can do against each other.
That's a pretty even match out of the hole. That 182 is going to accelerate. But with only 2,000 feet to work with.
Now remember, they're flying into the sun looking through a semi-dirty, scratched windshield. I'm sure that Cessna 82's windshield is probably older than I am by about 20 years. He's looking through that thing, trying to see things with the streaks in the sun. That is a hard place to see. Last year, they couldn't see anything, I think, at High Sierra, and also here, right?
Yeah, we had to get a wash boy down there to wash the windscreens in between heats. All right, Bruce has got a good lead on Aaron. In the Yellow Thunder Carbon Cup. But look at Aaron just throw it into the start-finish line with all that extra energy in the 182, but he's got to get it all stopped.
That's going to be the trouble for him. But wow, what an impressive stop he did make. I can't see it from my point of view. How about you?
Getting that 182 stopped.
Clear to taxi. We're going to watch 2 videos on that one. It was close. I have an idea, but we're going to watch 2 videos. Clear to taxi.
Wow, these races are all coming out so close that Kevin's has to keep referring to the cell phone video.
That is hard to believe. They were so spaced out, and Aaron was going so fast. He just didn't think he was going to be able to slow that thing down. That is incredible.
He just chucked it into the finish line there and hauled on them binders.
I did not see that happening.